We are not descended from fearful men. These words by famed journalist Ed Murrow in 1954 still ring true today. Although I think we need to hear them again, because something's happening. We live in the safest, wealthiest, most medically advanced era in human history. Yet we're more anxious, more fearful, and more disconnected from meaning in life than ever before. And this begs the question, why? I believe it's because we've forgotten our strength. We've been deceived about what adversity actually does for us. And maybe most importantly, we've lost sight of the idea that we can find meaning through hardship. Now, I'm not talking about the meaning of life. I'm talking about meaning in life. The kind that makes us believe that our lives matter. The kind that gives us direction. The kind that helps us make sense of our stories, especially the painful chapters. Psychologists tell us that meaning in life come from three things. The first is coherence. Our ability to connect the past, the present, and the future in a way that makes sense to us. The second is significance, believing that our lives matter. And the third is purpose, having a why to live for. Now, adversity can give us all three, but only if we know how to respond to it. The perspective that I will share with you tonight is forged in loss, combat, and Montana's wild country. And it's helped me and hundreds of veterans find strength, not despite the adversity we faced, but because of it. And this idea has a name, anti-fragility, our ability to grow stronger because of the adversity we face. And this isn't just a theory, it's a conviction that I've built through decades of experiences. I am descended from an American pioneer. In 1864, my great-great-grandfather, Isaac Harvey Gilman, departed New Hampshire, bound for Alder Gulch, Montana Territory, in a wagon train, through untamed wilderness. And he did that trip twice. First to stake a claim, then again to bring his wife and his children back to Montana with him. Shortly after returning to Montana, he was killed in a wagon wreck when a Native American war party spooked his horse team. 6 months later, his son, Les Gilman, my great-grandfather, was born. Les's mother, my great-great-grandmother Ella, shouldered the hardship and continued to pursue the dream of a life on the frontier. Eventually, Les built the I.H. Gilman Cattle Company. It still operates in the Ruby Valley, Montana today. Now, my family's story reminds me of something that I think we've lost sight of as a society: resilience and pragmatic optimism, and the belief that we can build meaning through hardship. Now, I just didn't inherit this belief from my family story. It was forged in fire. As a U.S. Marine, I led Marines in combat through 4 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. And through it all, one truth became clear: adversity is not the enemy. The question is, what do we do with it? Here's what shaped my answer. When I was 10 years old, my paternal grandparents and my 18-year-old cousin were killed in a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler. I remember thinking the irrational thought at the time that they died because I didn't pray enough. When I was 10 years old, I thought I could prevent bad things from happening if I prayed enough. In junior high, a close friend's entire family was wiped out in a car wreck. He was the only survivor. As a teenager, the copper mines that were the lifeblood of my hometown, Butte, Montana, shut down. And my father and thousands of our fellow community members were without work and without purpose. And for years, I watched the worry on my parents' faces as they tried to make ends meet. In college, we lost a cousin to cancer, and my best friend's brother died by suicide. And then came war. And I watched the horrors that it unleashed on civilians simply for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. As a commander in combat, I gave orders to the Marines that I led and loved that put them in harm's way every single day. Not all of them made it home. I lost 5 friends in combat. One died in his sleeping bag, crushed by an armored vehicle. One was killed by enemy machine gun fire, leading his platoon out of an ambush. 2 were killed by improvised explosive devices. And one was standing in front of his regimental commander's desk when the enemy rocket struck. But loss and combat weren't my only teachers. I'm an avid backcountry hunter, so I spend weeks each year in Montana's wildest places. And out there, nature teaches the same truths. Life is unpredictable. It's hard and it's harsh. You can do everything right and still lose. The wilderness doesn't care about your plans. And through it all, I came to a truth that I now live by. Life is not fair. Bad things happen to good people all the time. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And how we respond to adversity will determine whether we're crushed by it or whether we find strength and meaning through it. But unfortunately, that's not what our culture today tells us. In 1952, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders recognized 6 mental health disorders. Today, nearly 300. And the criteria have broadened as dramatically as the numbers have increased. In 1980, the DSM recognized post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as a reaction to extremely rare and terrifying events that fall outside the range of normal human experience. Yet by the mid-1990s, that terminology was removed from the DSM, and clinicians began diagnosing PTSD for everyday negative events like a bad breakup, a tough boss, or a hard semester. We're increasingly pathologizing human existence. Yet the world continues to grow ever safer. Homicides, domestic violence, war deaths, all down across the developed world. Yet PTSD diagnoses continue to rise. I believe that we have traded faith in human nature for the fear of discomfort. And that departs from the path that human beings have walked forever. And our recent history tells us this. Roughly half of the survivors present at Ground Zero on 9/11 reported no long-term trauma. Londoners who survived the Blitz during World War II found strength and meaning through shared adversity. Holocaust survivors, after the Holocaust, built new families, new careers, entirely new lives. We are not fragile. In fact, we're wired to grow stronger from resilience, from adversity. But here's what really concerns me. My team and I serve post-9/11 combat veterans. And today, the dominant narrative surrounding combat trauma completely ignores what lies beyond it: post-traumatic growth. I know this because I've served in the veteran transition landscape for over a decade. I know this because I've heard it directly from the combat veterans that we serve in my organization that have told me that their therapists, clinical providers they are seeing for PTSD, have told them that they will require medication and therapy for the rest of their lives. In effect, we're telling these veterans that they're broken for life. I refuse to believe this. I refuse to believe that human beings, the apex species on this planet, are fragile. Here's why. Homo sapiens have walked this earth for 300,000 years. And for the majority of that time, we lived as hunter-gatherers, living off the land and being exposed to all the daily privations that entails. So picture this. You're a hunter-gatherer living 20,000 years ago. You're moving with your tribe, following the herds. And then all of a sudden, a lion jumps out of the bushes and hauls off your grandmother. Now that sounds like an incredibly traumatic event. And there's archaeological evidence that indicates that it happened. But do you think that our ancestors allowed trauma like that to permanently break them? If we were permanently crippled by trauma, our species would no longer be here. We would have vanished. But we didn't vanish. We adapted. We bonded. We overcame. We grew stronger together and became the apex species on this planet. We are not fragile. We are not even just resilient. We are anti-fragile. When I think about anti-fragility, I think about the pine trees that I see on high alpine ridges here in Montana. Up there, they're exposed to brutal winds every day. And they don't just survive, they adapt. Their trunks grow thick and strong. Their roots dig deep. Their branches lean into the wind. They become stronger because of the wind. and so can we. I believe the famed Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist Viktor Frankl said it best. The way a man accepts his fate and all the suffering that entails gives him ample opportunity to add deeper meaning to his life. And this decides whether he is worthy of his sufferings or not. So how do we become anti-fragile? There are 4 principles. And the first is mindset. A 2022 Harvard study published in Psychological Trauma found that if we believe that we will be harmed by adversity, we're more likely to be harmed by it. The context that we place around pain shapes how we experience it. It's about shaping our narrative. If we believe that something will break us, it probably will. If we believe that we'll grow from it, we're more likely to grow. And this isn't just wishful thinking. It's a mindset that I call pragmatic optimism. And pragmatic optimism accepts the world for what it is, fully acknowledging the challenges that we face, but also expects progress through hard work and perseverance, and looks for the opportunities that exist on the far side of those problems. Now this mindset enables a simple formula for processing everything that life throws our way. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. We can't change the event, but we own the response. And how we respond will determine whether we're crushed by adversity or grow stronger and find meaning through it. This simple formula gives us agency in an unpredictable world. The second principle is tribe. We evolved to survive together, and not just in families, in tribes. Now, tribes start with strong families, but they extend from there to a circle of what I call 3 a.m. friends. Those people who will come running to you no matter the hour or issue. Those people that hold you up and hold you accountable. Those people that will tell you the truth when nobody else will. The Harvard study of adult development, the longest running study on happiness, tracks 700 people across their entire lifetimes. The number one driver of well-being, not income, not education, not health, but rather the quality and the strength of our relationships. If you want to become anti-fragile, build your tribe. The third principle is purpose. Nietzsche said it best. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. Purpose transforms pain into meaning. It gives us a reason to keep going when everything else falls apart. Mariners from the age of wooden sailing ships had a saying, hold fast, stay true. When the waves are crashing across the deck, threatening to carry you away, lash yourself to something solid. Hold fast. Keep the rudder straight and true so you don't get blown off the course to your intended destination. Stay true. Our purpose is our anchor and our direction. Hold fast, stay true when the storms come. And the fourth principle is doing hard things. Life today makes comfort too easy. And comfort, while pleasurable, softens us. There's a growing body of evidence that shows that embracing certain discomforts protects us against anxiety, depression, obesity, and even spiritual emptiness. Seeking out and basking in physical and psychological discomfort strengthens us. So do hard things. Go cold. Go hungry. Go offline. Challenge your body. Stretch your mind. Face your fears. Seeking out voluntary discomfort hardens us. It prepares us for the adversity that is inevitably coming our way. So if you want to become anti-fragile, do hard things. I'll leave you with this. I do not believe that life is just a trial by adversity. I won the lottery when I was born. In America, to loving parents that taught me the meaning of hard work and education and allowed me to learn through the school of hard knocks. Life is a gift and a blessing. But adversity will come for all of us. Change, loss, disappointment, death. The question is, what do we do with that adversity? Do we hide from it? Do we let it turn us into cynics? Do we allow it to break us? Or do we instead find strength and meaning through it. I believe that the choice is ours. I'll leave you with my favorite quote from Archilochus, a Greek warrior poet who lived around 800 BC. While the words are very martial, I think that you'll find that their wisdom transcends war. Be brave, my heart. Plant your feet and square your shoulders to the enemy. Meet him among the man-killing spears. Hold your ground. In victory, do not brag. In defeat, do not weep. Thank you.